Well, we're doing some Saturday evening home repairs. As you can see here, we have a new faucet. We have an under cabinet area that's drying out. This had contact paper down. I went ahead and pulled it all up. I'm going to put new down. And what happened is earlier in the day I was going to do a load of dishes before I did some painting in another part of the house. And as I went under here to get some detergent, I noticed there's quite a bit of water underneath this cabinet. And that was pretty alarming, and I got to looking around and I realized that I think it was coming from this this faucet here. And right now I have the water shut off to this faucet, but I can show you sometimes when you had the water on and you would pivot the faucet here, you get some water to leak out. See that right there? I put a little bit of pressure on it and I'm getting some water to leak out of there. It's actually getting pretty bad. This has been doing this for a while, and it really hadn't caused any issues that I knew of except for some water leaking out on the exterior. But I think what happened is I think some finally started coming out of the back, and it was running along the back of the sink here, and it found a spot where there was no or little caulking, and it was actually, the water was coming in this corner and dripping down into the bottom of the cabinet. And like I said, I had known about this, and I was sort of working around it for a while. And we had a house guest the past week, and I think possibly you know, they had done some dishes and stuff, and maybe they weren't as careful with it as I had been. Nor I don't expect them to be. I mean, that's unreasonable to think somebody should have to play around with a faucet to use it. But a lot of the problem is this doesn't have a sprayer built in, and the only means is which there's a sprayer is this aftermarket aerator here. In the up position, it aerates. In order to put it on the sprayer position, you have to really push down on it quite a bit. And as you can see, when I do that, it puts a lot of pressure on that faucet. Now generally, when I would operate this, I try to use two hands and alleviate some of that pressure. But this faucet's about 13 years old, and over the years I think it's had a negative effect on the brass housing in here. Because I've taken this apart before, and there's quite a bit of wear. I don't know if putting new seals in this would have completely fixed the problem, but really I don't want to mess with it because I want a sprayer, and this has worked. We've lived here about 6 years. This has worked thus far. However, I really miss having a sprayer, and I think it's time to finally just put one in. And in case you're wondering, of course this is hot and cold, softened water. This here is straight well water. Previous owner, person we bought this house from, they had this house built brand new back in '78, and I think he grew up on a farm or whatnot, and liked straight well water, didn't like softened water, so he ran a straight well water tap here to the kitchen sink, and he drank it for almost 30 years. And that's just the way he liked to do things, I guess. I don't really ever drink that straight. I put in a reverse osmosis system. This isn't hooked up right now, and we're going to get to that in a later video. But that's what this is for. So there's really no extra hole to put a sprayer in. They make faucets with integrated sprayers, so the little sprayer would be right here. I could have took out this well water tap and used this hole for a sprayer, or I could have drilled a new one, but I had to drill, I think, a little half-inch hole for this reverse osmosis faucet, and I'll tell you what, I don't want to drill this cast iron sink again, because that was quite a bit of work. So I bought a new faucet with a pull-out sprayer, and we'll show you that here in a little bit. And before I get too many comments on this, no, my kitchen normally isn't this messy, but everything at the bottom of the cabinet's in this sink, and there's some dirty dishes there. Now underneath the sink here we have quite a mess. I don't really know the story of how all this plumbing got to be this way, but I'm obviously I'm not happy with it. However, it works, And while this is on my list to straighten this out and just redo this whole mess one day, it's on my list, but it's probably 99. It's probably at the bottom of my list. It's probably the 99th thing out of 100 that I'm going to do around here, and it's really not a priority right now. I have way too much other more important things going on that I need to take care of. But this whole thing here is just a disaster. I don't even want to know how we got to this point. But none of it leaks, believe it or not. The shutoffs all work, as far as I know, believe it or not. And this is the dishwasher shutoff valve. And I know there's a stain under there, but that's old. And it doesn't leak, as far as I know. This is the old water line for the ice maker on the fridge, which I bypassed that when I put the RO system in. And I just crimped that line off, and then I obviously shut the valve. And there we just have some caulk. Keep in mind, I didn't do any of this. This was all done by a previous owner. So we have some caulk there. This, I don't even want to know what that is or why it's there. I think it's plumber's putty. And we have the right basin. We have a center basin with the garbage disposal. And the left side here we have a basin. And our vent pipe goes up here. And there's the connections for the old faucet. Now I have these shutoffs closed. If you're going to replace the faucet and your shutoffs don't work, or there are no shutoffs, you could go to your main shutoff. Hope that works. And you could always put some new shutoffs in, whether it be sweating them in, using compression fittings, or shark bites. But I highly recommend you have shutoffs under your sink that work. If they don't work, your project just got a lot more involved. And good luck to you, because I can't believe these actually work. But somehow it's a miracle, but they do. Okay. Now I'm going to verify these shutoffs are closed. And they are. And I already tried running the water and nothing came out, so I'm going to guess that they're not leaking, hopefully. I'm using basic hand tools here. I have wrenches that will fit this, but honestly it's too late. I'm too lazy to go out and get them. So I just have a pair of adjustable pliers. Let's see, I need to try to get in here without blocking the camera. Okay, now I'm going to hold the bottom of the valve right here so I don't twist anything off while I'm loosening the connection that goes to the faucet. This isn't very tight. Let's see if I can get it off by hand. Nope, need to get a little bit more on there. This is very loose. Now I'm expecting we're going to have a little bit of water run out of here because there's still some water in the lines. And use a cup to try to catch the majority of that water. That's a long-winded. And you want to try not to disturb the hard plumbing. You want to try to disturb that as little as possible. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open up this faucet to see if I can drain out some water. And we just have a few drips, so that's good. So that line's drained. That's the hot. Usually the hot's the left, the right's the cold. And now I'm not going to film it because I don't think I can get the camera in there. But now I'm going to go ahead and loosen up the right side, using the same procedure.